Finally, the pre-seasons have begun in Indian football. My team, Bengaluru FC, has obviously won the Durand Cup, which I'm very happy about. All the ISL teams are finally rolling. So this episode is an extra episode which features my interview with Carles Cuadrat, who is the manager for Bengaluru FC. Soon after he won the title actually last year, and in which we speak about many things that happened inside the football game, which is not just the tactics, the mentality, the mindset, how to irritate the opponents, how to get under their skin, how to manage emotions, and how to control a football match, even when it seems like you may not be in control. For further details and insights into these things, give it a listen. How important it is for this club, and it felt so, at least as a spectator, as a fan, as a reporter who's covered for 6 years, that the club desperately wanted to play in Asia. So I spoke to Sunil about the same. So you obviously were the part of the team that went to the final and did all the great things that you did. So personally, as a manager, how important do you feel it is for the club? It's great to win ISL, but how important do you think it is to win ISL to go to the Asia?
I think that in football, India have this kind of feeling that it's not a country so competitive in Asia. So it's like a challenge, because national team and clubs, normally we are not achieving big results in Asia. We are always fighting to grow up, but not getting big things. So I understand Sunil and all the Indian players that they want to try themselves making big things in Asia, because most of the times you go there, you do your best, you compete, but in the important moments of the competition you get out, like in the Asian Cup last season with the national team, or in the FC Cup final that we achieved the final but we were not able to reach the title. So I think that it's a nice competitive challenge for Indian clubs and for Indian national team to keep going on, to don't give up and to keep trying, because one day it's going to happen. So let's fight for that.
And how important is it for you as a manager who has a history of doing well in Asia? That's your first competition when you came with Roka. So for a manager, for yourself, how important is the Asian competition?
Yeah, it's a really motivating situation. But again, you have to be calm about the analysis of the situation, and you have to see that teams in Asia are really, really strong. I think that we don't have a lot of chances against Al Nasir this season. And only if the game is, if you are getting the 1-1 at home very soon, and you make an extra and you get to 1, similar like it happens with Johor in the semi-final 2016, maybe you can get something. But normally these teams are strong and they beat us. You saw that also 2 years ago with Tajikistan team in the semi-final, that they were better than us, so they reached the final. And even with North Korean team, we have a lot of problems. We beat them, but it was a very special night in Cantirua that we beat them 3-0. But all of us in the team were really conscious that, wow, it was a big team. It was something almost incredible that we beat them 3-0. And in North Korea it was 0-0, but we were suffering a lot. They missed a penalty. What I mean to you is that we have to be optimistic, we have to work for the things, but we have to be also realistic. And the reality is that these teams in West Asia, they have a sports culture in football that it comes from long time. There is some of these countries that before they belonged to Russia, and Russia was doing big things in football in the 60s, 70s, 80s. What I mean is that, of course, if we are reaching that stage of the competition, we will do our plan, to try to get the best result and to reach the final again. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because these teams are really great teams. We went also to Jordan for the Champions League qualification, and you saw that Al-Bahda, it's...
But that game, maybe you had better chances at least. Some of them.
You know, it was 2-1. We didn't arrive a lot of times to their goal. We have to be realistic. They do all the things to win the game. We tried, but it was tough. What I mean is that what I like of Bengaluru is that we are very competitive. Even losing with Al Nasir 0-3 at home, we don't give up, and we get 2-3 result. So we travel to Turkmenistan with some hopes about to score 0-1 and to make something, you know. But they are really, really tough teams, and you can see even in the under 23 level that Turkmenistan and Tajikistan, they won easily 2-0, 3-0 to Indian under 23 team, and in the Indian under 23 team there was really, really good talents like Sahal, like Nishu, Tahal, Shante. So nice challenge, but it's not going to be easy.
So I was there when you played Johor here in the semi-final second day, and personally 6 years I've covered BFC side right from the beginning. I have never experienced an atmosphere like that. And in Europe there is this Anfield, European nights in Anfield, in Camp Nou, in Bernabeu, in Turin. So how important is it for you as a manager and this club to provide the fans with those kind of situations where it's something to look forward to, a semi-final against the defending champions?
Yeah, I'm going to be very honest. The atmosphere was quite similar to that big European nights. I have been in this. I have been watching Liverpool-Barcelona Champions League semi-final in Anfield Road. I have been in finals of Champions League so many times. Atmosphere was similar, but again, let's be realistic. That atmosphere in Cantiliba was with 20,000, 25,000 supporters. In European big nights, it happens with 80,000, 90,000, 70,000 supporters. What I mean is that we all have to work for the good of the football in the country to get that kind of things. I mean, to get that atmosphere more often and with more crowded people. It will be nice. Yeah, to get 50,000, 60,000 in the stadium, it will be great.
Is this how you grow football? Playing Asia, doing these kind of plays, like the semi-final here in against Northeast. That atmosphere is quite something.
Well, as much as you play special games, as much as you encourage people to go to the stadium and to repeat. I think that the people who comes to watch the semi-final against Northeast, they have given a very good feedback to their family, friends, to everybody. So if there is another big game, I think that we are going to get a lot of people in the stadium. So, sorry. What is good is to make big nights, because big nights attract people to go for another big night.
And I will actually, honestly, my friends come to watch BFC. On my off days also I come to watch when I'm not working. And I bring them. And every time they come there, they want to come the next time, because I keep telling them, don't worry, it's 1-0 down. The game is not over. It's not like they'll shut shop and they'll come down. And it keeps happening, whether you win or draw, like the Northeast Chencho's overhead kick the other day. They were in the stands, so now they are bringing their friends.
That's right.
Like you said,
it's something nice. If you see some big supporters collectives in India, they are quite of give up. You see Kerala, Chennai fans, they are a little bit depressed because they want to support the team, but the team is not giving them reasons to be happy, but I'm very proud of my players because they are keeping doing that. If you see Kerala game, for me it was more than great that you are 0-2 at the half time and you get the 2-2 and you also got a chance in the last minute to get 3-2. So when you are in the stadium as a supporter and you see your guys going from the 0-2 to the 3-2, it's something that you are happy to be living these moments in the grades, in the tribunes. So it's we have to be very proud of the kind of players that we have that give that kind of happiness to the supporters.
I'm from Kerala, so I know exactly. But Gokulam is my team. It's in my city, so that is probably more. But just wanted to speak to you about the season so far. I mean, not so far. Congratulations on the victory, of course. What did you think? For me, as someone who watched last year and this year, I expected the same type of football that Roca was playing under you. It was a little bit different. You were a little bit more smarter in changing moments, in controlling emotions, all those parts. So, is it something that you worked on, or is it?
Yeah, there is a lot of work behind. Listen, when you have no Miku for 9 games, you have to make another plan. Miku is essential in that team. Miku is creating chances for himself and for the people around. So it's like if you play any big team in the world without his K player. I don't want to make comparisons, but you see Madrid without Cristiano Ronaldo, they are suffering a lot. And you can imagine any team in the world, City without
Sterling.
Yeah, De Bruyne or
Hazard.
Yeah, Chelsea with Hazard. So then you have to be more pragmatic and you have to take decisions to make the team strong in other aspects. So we make that kind of decision. We get the team strong in set pieces. We get the team strong with the work of Sunil and Ulanta in both wings. I think that at the end Sunil is going to hate me, I think, because I'm demanding so much defensive work from him that if you see the Super League final, he was not getting a lot of protagonists in the attack. But me as a coach, when I see the times that he was helping Nishu and getting the ball back from Jackie Chan in a lot of complicated situations, it was the combination of Sunil and Nishu, the ones who stopped Jackie Chan, and the combination of Cabra and Ulanta, the ones who stopped Brandon. So we become champions. It's what we have to say, that giving some different tasks to some of the players, we become champions. It's in Goa, they are brilliant. They have very good players, but they were not champions. So we win that battle. We do the right things to win that battle.
A lot of the time when you hear coach from Barcelona, you hear about the certain way of playing. That's the only way they'll play. Roca was someone who was very pure in his belief and tactics. Labero here, Kike Setien and Betis, all these people. So with you managed to evolve a little. Maybe possession was a little lower than before, but it was stronger. You punished teams for making mistakes, or you maybe even edged them to make mistakes. So is this something that you wanted to consciously change in the way of, or is this always been how you thought about football? Sorry, it's a long question.
No, I understand you. Don't worry. It's nice to talk about football with somebody who understands the game, because there is people that don't make that kind of question because they cannot read the game, but you can, so that's good. That's good. We don't have to forget that we play a game to win, and it's very nice to say I want to play nice football, but sometimes you cannot compete against other teams that they are better playing the kind of football that you want to do. We play against Barca B and we lost 3-0 because that kind of game they are better in that. So at the end the better team is winning. So you have to go for another kind of plan. the best manager, the best head coach, is the one who gets the formula to give to the team the best results. Also, about Albert Roca, my friend, my colleague, we have been working together a lot of time, but in El Salvador national team, we were a team that we have to play 5-4-1 to defend ourselves from big opponents like Spain, Colombia, Argentina. So forget about pass the ball in the way that Albert Roca was getting last season in Bengaluru. He's a clever professional, and he knows that if I go to play from the goalkeeper to the central defender to the fullback, we are going to lose the ball, and a fast offensive transition of Iniesta, Villa, Messi, any of these big talents is going to get a result of 8-0, 9-0, 10-0. We're going to be historical, but not for a good reason. What I mean is that Alberto is also not crazy about that football philosophy. If you have the items, you go for that. If you don't have the items, you have to go for another plan. So it was my case. We start the season and I lost 3 players from my first 11. I lost John, Lenny and Subasic. So it means that you're losing something. You have to get new pieces in the puzzle to make a competitive team. And when the team was starting to work, getting points, we miss another important piece, that it's Miku. So it has been a big challenge for me to keep trying to play good football, but at the same time getting the points. So I'm happy that it was happening, and I think that we have been an example of competitivity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have listened a lot of things about how well is playing Delhi Dynamos or Northeast or Jamshedpur. Come on, it's very easy sometimes to build up an idol about an idea, but at the end, which is the position of them in the table, it means a lot of things. So we have to be happy with the way we have been giving show to our fans, and the big present that we give to them, that it's that Super League trophy.
We often talk about the season. We always say Delhi is a project. 3 years down the line, they might do something. And one of the things we always say about BFC is, this is what I feel. You don't give up. It is just not in the nature of this team to give up. At home, away, whatever, you go, try, do your job, concede goal, doesn't matter, keep pushing. And sometimes even a little bit of the, they say the dark arts in football, a small foul here, just to stop them from playing the football, and then they will get the ball back, and then they will be irritated. Sandesh was angry when he played here, he lost his head. 2 of the shortest members in your team scored 2 headed goals against Kerala, against Sandesh and Lakit Prasad.
Yeah.
So you obviously managed to outthink them in that sense.
When you are a football professional, you know a lot of things happen. You know that the clever, smart football players, they play with a lot of things in the game. And I'm talking about legal things. I mean, I'm not talking about to make something against the spirit of the game. So I put things very clear on the table that Matthias for Northeast, he was reading well the last moments of the game, and he was giving to the team rewards for that. So that's why he gets the penalty in the semi-final against us. He was starting an not legal action to Cuadrat. He was the one pushing him, breaking the offside line, getting him inside and falling down him, and in the last moment Cuadrat catch him because he's falling down, and it's what the referee saw, and he was issuing penalty.
Would you say that's smart attacking or bad defending?
No, it's a combination of both things, because Cuadrat as a player, it's very difficult to just fall down and leave your opposition alone, because if the ball is going to the position and he's getting the heading and the referee is not whistling, then what's happening? It's goal, and it looks because you have been stupid not to marking that player well, So I think it's a combination of both things. What I have to say is that little details sometimes are important. And for example, I have been working a lot with my players about controlling their emotions in the important moments of the game. I think that is the reason, because we have got some important points in the last minutes of the game, because they were knowing what I am demanding them about to play the game at that moment. There was one game that I was very, very unhappy. It was in Chennai, that we played the last 5 minutes, giving the opponents the opportunity to lose a lot of time. There is a throwing in the left side that Nishu is giving to Sunil. Sunil is getting back, and the ball is corner. So we spend 2 minutes in the corner because they are clever. Augusto playing short, taking time. So I was putting them videos because my players know the plan. The plan is not to make any fault, not to make any throwing, just play. Because when you are playing, the ball is on the pitch and you can get the ball back and do a counter goal. But if you get the ball out of the pitch, the other team is clever enough to take advantage and lose time. So it was a moment that we were losing 2-1. We start 2-0, we score 2-1, and maybe we can score the 2-2 in the extra time. We got 5 minutes extra time, but we miss that 5 minutes in a very bad way. So it was a lesson for the team, and I was using the video to show them that kind of things. And in the final, if you see, maybe one of the reasons of the final was the red card for Zemut, and maybe it was because we have been working, controlling emotions, and maybe this player was not able to control that emotion after Miku tackle and was doing a reaction that put him out of the game. I think that everybody knows that it was a deserved second yellow card, no question about that. But you as a player, you can control that. You can just fall down and do anything. But he, in that few seconds of decisions, he has a reaction against Miku, and that reaction was punished by the referee. It's normal. So we played the second half of the extra time with one more player, so it was a advantage for us.
And when you first came here, I remember speaking to you before the AFC Cup final, and then you said how the box of the two midfielder and the two centre backs, that's such a key area.
Yeah.
You had Watson and Rubio, Alvaro at that time. Now you had Eric, not for the last part, but mostly Eric and Dimas and the two centre backs. So is it the same thought process there and as it is in the ISL?
Yeah, that kind of way to play is working when you have a specific opponent that can make you travels here in the middle. It's the tactics that we're using with Fran Rijkaard, Saudi Arabia national team, against Argentine to control Messi. Messi was starting from the right and was doing that kind of diagonals, and he was all the time with the diagonals getting inside of the box, and in the box you have 4 players, so it's a situation that can be 1 against 2, 1 against 3, and even 1 against 4. So we control Messi and we tie 0-0. It was a good game for Saudi Arabia because it was Argentina 0, Saudi Arabia 0, so it was good for us. To be honest, that season we have not been using it too much because the other teams maybe didn't have that kind of dangerous player. A lot of games we have been working 4-3-3 with only Eric. So it means not a box, it means 2-on-1. And it was sometimes enough to play a situation of 3 against 2 with Becce Gallego or with Coro Bedia or even with Sambu Machado. It has been working for us, that kind of 3 against 2 situation. We didn't need the 4 against 2 or 4 against 1 situation.
In that defensive midfield position, Eric seems to give you a lot of balance. When he's not there, there seems to be something missing. I mean, Dimas can play that.
I'm agreeing with that, yeah.
So, what is it that he brings? Because I am a big fan of Parkalu, but I don't really know what he brings other than he's calm, he's a leader on the field.
Everything. I mean, every player has personal things that make him special. If you see, I'm very happy also with Alex Barrera. He's a very good professional. He has been giving a lot for us in the playoffs. But I think that Eric knows, because he has been 2 years with us, knows really perfectly the mechanics of the team. The moment that he has to go down in the line to protect us. I remember against ATK in Calcutta that he was getting a lot of defensive headings inside of the box, to get the team out of the close situations. But at the same time, he's also good reading the moment that he has to be a little bit more in front and going to the number 10 of the other team. So it's something special that he has. Also, we cannot forget his physical presence. It's something that it's really big, so it gives the other team also a difficult situation about tackles, about headings. So I'm happy that he has 1 more year contract with the club.
I have 2 more questions here, and one of them is a question, one is more of my own, I want to know what the thought process is here. So the first one was, like you said, sometimes Eric goes to number 10, Dimas sits, or maybe Cuadrat is playing in the middle, he sits, these 2 go forward. So this rotation, is it something that is planned beforehand, or is it something that they do on their own? And also sometimes you press from the second line, instead of the striker, the midfielder goes forward. What is the difference there? Is it to stop them from counter-attacking or bringing it up from the back? What is it?
Yeah, I think that the big difference with the last season is that the team is more compact. So in that kind of football, in India, it has been useful for us because there is not so much talented players able to go out of pressure when you have 4 or 5 players around you. If you see, the ones able to make a long ball behind our defensive players are players like Gallego, Zamut, that one Machado. This is the ones that can make that kind of pass. So we have been working in press that players, and also at the same time the defensive line push, and that's why we have been getting in offside so many times players like Coro or Songu. But there is a lot of work behind it. You have to really, in the trainings we were
timings.
Pushing the line, and I have to say that in the pre-season players like Cabra, Nishu and Raul was breaking the line a lot of times, and at the end we get them really doing a wonderful work in that, and I'm very proud of the way they play in the final. They were neutralizing the way Coro was getting the chances, and he was not getting even 1 chance. I think that the most dangerous thing that they have was the ball from Lenny to Jackie Chan, that it was because we were not putting so much pressure to.
They destroyed the team in the semi-final with that ball. Across.
Yeah.
They didn't work it.
That's it. We, at the end, you have to make a plan and to select, and we're putting more pressure in Jamut and in Edubedia than in Lenny, and that's why they tried that one, and it was a 1-against-1 situation with Jackie Chan and Nishu, but Gurpreet was also reading the moment, and he was gets to catch the ball in the line. So what I mean is that the players have been improving a lot, getting the coordination to do that kind of defense, but because it's a very risky defense. You can get out giving a lot of meters to the striker. So I'm happy that it has been working. I have to say also that I have been doing my best to teach that kind of defense to some other players. And Rino, for example, he's a player that I really love because he has been in the club so many times and he was helping us a lot in the FC Cup road to the final. Everybody loves him, but because of his physical conditions, it's not so easy for him to play that system. And if you remember the game against Delhi at home, he was breaking the line 2-3 times and it was dangerous for the team, and Chuanti was taking advantage of that. What I mean is that you have the squad, you give things to the squad, trying to improve, and some players reach the level and some other players not reach the level. So maybe this is the reasons because he has been not playing so much.
Very bad injuries.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel sorry about that because he's a lovely player for me, but he's working hard and he's giving his heart to trying to reach the level. So maybe he can be also important for us next season.
Yeah, he obviously was on the brink of the national team. He was starting right back at national team and he got injured. It's quite sad. He's also from Kerala, so
yeah, he's a hard worker, but sometimes you try and you don't get the result.
So the last one I wanted to check was you just mentioned Sunil is going to end up hating you because of the defensive thing. So he is all going to do his due diligence running back defense. So I had an argument on Twitter when somebody said he's not scoring as many goals as he used to, but he's putting so much energy in defense. So I wanted to know about your opinion on Mishu, because defensively he often gets caught out of position, square on players, just straight instead of sideways, all those things. So what is your opinion on his defensive? Going forward, he's amazing. He's athletically brilliant. So he's able to run back and tackle last minute, get the thing done. So
he's a brilliant player. He has the talent, and you cannot show the talent. The talent you cannot teach the talent. The talent you got it inside, and it happens a lot with the top scorer players that they have something. They have something. They know how to finalize, and that's great. He has been scoring nine goals, I think. Yeah, it's a brilliant number of goals. You as a coach, if you have a player who is scoring 9-10 years every season, you can be happy because it's difficult to have that kind of players. If you see Miku in the semi-finals, he could get a hat-trick against Northeast only in the first half, and in the final he could score also 3 more goals in the final. The one in the post, the corner routine that he gets the volley, and another one that Cisco gives to him and he control and makes the volley, 3 goals. So it means he could be the Bengaluru hero with 6 goals in the last 2 games, but he scored only 1 against Northeast. It's okay, I'm happy with that because he scored a crucial goal in the semi-final and he was doing the job to score more goals. What I mean is that Sunil scored 9 goals, that's true. He scored more goals last season, that's true. But come on, it's a game. You shoot and it's going to the post or it's going here. If it's going here, it's goal. If it's going to the post, it's not counting in the statistics. And if you see the videos, Sunil have created chances to score 15 goals, 20 goals, so it's just a number.
You think he can evolve into like Messi? I personally, my dream is to go and play Messi live, watch him live, because what he did against Betis or what he did against Tottenham sometimes just takes the level up, whole team, as opposed to someone like Ronaldo who became very, very efficient, doesn't do so much defensive work, but it's like a machine scoring. Against Juventus is 3 goals against Atletico. Do you think he can go that way? Because right now he's more Messi than he is Ronaldo.
No, we're talking about different players. We're talking about...
No, not comparing the levels, but that type of player.
I think that it's, they are giving brilliant performance for the level of the country. Players like Miku, like Sunil, like Koro, like Okbeche, like Songu, they are doing their top level, their top possibilities. They cannot grow up more because they are giving everything on the skills that they have, and they are not 25 years old anymore. So they have reached the top of the abilities that they are capable. If you see Miku have scored a wonderful free kick goal against NTK, Sunil, we know that he's very good in free kicks, so Messi was improving free kicks when he was 25, 26 years old. He makes, okay, next step. I'm also improving in that. But for these players, they have reached the top, and I'm very happy with the top that they have. You cannot demand Goro to be better with the heading, or to be better in another aspect of his game. He's brilliant. He's doing a lot of things well. That's enough. The only player that can still grow up, you know, which one? Yeah.
I think he is the next.
That's it.
He's the next man.
He's getting good numbers, but I'm sure that if he's improving his decisions, he's going to make very much good numbers in the next 2-3 years. But he has to keep working with that consistency, and he has to keep listening the coaches, me here in the national team, and understanding that we want to help him. We don't want to punish him. And until now, I have to say that he has been doing that this season. I have been forcing him a lot. Even in the final, I saw on TV that there is that bad shoot that he made in the first half. And I am doing that, come on, you have to think more to take the right decision. And he understood, and he said, okay, coach, you have the reason. If there is some moment in his mind that he thinks, no, you are wrong, I'm taking the right decision, then that moment will be the roof for him. He's not going to grow up from that. And I think that he's smart and he's learning. So he has good numbers this season, and he can have better numbers next season. But he has to keep doing like this, you know, learning, and be so humble to understand that people around him is trying to get him the next Indian top player.
I remember Udanta, when he first came here, I think this is season before you started here. You know the player Prabir Das?
Which one?
Prabir Das, with white hair. He's from, I think he played for ATK. He was in East Bengal at that time.
Okay.
First 5 minutes, he beat him twice on the outside. One pass, nothing. No tackle, couldn't even see that was. Then again, he beat him 4 times in the first 10-15 minutes. So I thought he was just going to destroy Prabir Das that day. Then he stopped going outside, started coming inside, and he slowly started getting back into the game. But now I think, because of the work that you've done, his assist numbers have always been decent. This time he scored goals. He scored against Pune that move when he came in. So his improvement has been amazing, and hopefully he can be the next.
I hope so.
But the Nishu question that I was asking earlier, his defensive work, you think he has something to improve? Nishu. Positionally, he is.
He's learning. He's a smart guy, and he's learning fast. But still, there is a lot of things that he has to learn to be more competitive. He's not so strong in the 1-against-1 duels. He lets sometimes the opponent to make a good cross or to make a good shoot. So he has to be more contundent in that. And it's not easy. It's not easy because his physical conditions are not so. He's not a big guy. He's not like Subasic. He's not, that kind of body. So he's learning. He has to be happy to be in the first 11 in the final, because it's a big experience that we were demanding to him. and he was doing a good role. I'm happy with the game that he was doing against a difficult opponent like Jackie Chan. So every game like this at that level, it gives him something to learn. So he's in the right way. He can be a player for the national team if he keeps learning like this.
Last question, we are done. First season, when you started, you played 2 games in AFC Cup. Tough games to start. First ever head coach, 2 very, very tough games. And then you won the title. So throughout the season, what has made you the happiest? Not about winning the title, overall, what has made you the happiest?
Very clear answer. What I received from the players. I have seen from the first day that they believe in me and they do in the pitch the things that I am asking them to do. And even sometimes when they are not totally agree with the things that I have been asking them, they are enough good professionals and to understand that there is different ways of communication between them and me, and they have let me know their opinion, and for me the opinion of the players is sacred, sagrado, sacred, because they are the ones who are in the middle of the action and they know more than somebody else what is happening. So I was a professional football player, I know what you have there. So I'm proud that I have made them participate in the project in a way to add information and to add wisdom to the things that we are doing. So I'm not a dictatorial coach like, you have to do that, you have to do that. I was a football player, so I understand. If I say you that you have to do that, but you don't believe in that I am asking you to do, then it's not going to work. So I manage the situation during the season to do the things that they understand that can work. You have to know that it's not easy to make a rotation with players like Sunil or Miku. They want to play always. So to convince them that maybe if you stop now, you're going to be in better form for the playoffs. It was part of the success of that season.
Man management, that is what you're happiest about.
Yeah, I think that it has been working this season, that it has been a personal communication with all the players, and they have understand my plans, and they have respect that, and they have been working for that, so it makes me happy.
And congratulations, that was a brilliant season.
Thank you so much. Thank you again.
That was a great interview also, thank you so much.
Anytime.
And that was Carles Cuadrat. Soon after winning the ISL title with Bengaluru last year, we spoke very recently, I guess, on the season ahead and what's going to happen there and what they are planning, and the big changes there with changes in players, some big signings, some big movements away. The team seems reasonably strong as it used to last year. We'll have to see how much they have strengthened and stuff once the season begins, but it seems like all is well and good, and another season is ahead. So with that in mind, we are trying to get back to our regular scheduled episodes. We wanted to do one very recently, but I fell sick, and then logistically it was also a little bit of a nightmare because other people are not available. But hopefully we'll sort that out soon, and we'll start again soon. So in the meantime, stay safe and enjoy the game.